assignment be this symbol assignment. Assert not null assignment. Encountered simple relational null assignment when evaluating. And that symbol is S. So make sure we error out. So we get the assignment and then we evaluate it. So evaluate assignment. All right, so composition. This is where we have A and B. We just call our compose function. Yes, of course, we need to provide the originating within a group G and given assignment. So we compose within our group the evaluate SLP of A and evaluate SLP of B. It's almost like it's too simple, too easy. And SLP inversion is much the same. SLP inversion of just some element X is the inverse within the group G of evaluate SLP of X. All right, let's try this out. Well, first let's see if it compiles. Evaluate SLP is called with the wrong, of course, group assignments. And we want this to be copied. And we want this to I didn't make those things. Thank God we have compiler warnings. I would probably not be very good back in the old days of card decks and so on. All right, let's try this out. So maybe we can just create a little example here, plugin defun. Let's create a free group. How about that? Let F be make instance free group. Oops. With num elements as 5. And let's also make assignments. Make instance, what did I call it? SLP assignments. All right. So we have our free group. Let's do this example down here. So this would be setup all right, yeah. Symbol assignment within our assignment ASN, and we're going to set x1 to be SLP element 4. We're going to set up symbol assignment with an ASN of x2 to be an SLP element 5. We're going to have 4 of these. So x3, I should really make a shorter version of this. This is going to be compose SLP, use symbol x1 and SLP symbol x2. And then x4 is going to be a maybe I should make my compose SLP function a little bit more useful by doing an and rest arguments here. I might change that. Yeah, I'll maybe do that later. So x4 is equal to the inverse of x1 times the element 2 times x2. So compose SLP. The first element is the SLP inverse of the SLP symbol x3 times the compose SLP of the SLP element 2 with the SLP symbol x2. So first I want to print the symbol assignment of our ASN and SLP of x4. And lastly, I want to be able to evaluate. So evaluate SLP. Within our group, our free group, our assignments are ASN, and our SLP is SLP symbol x4. Does anybody want to take bets whether this will work on the first try or not? Let me check some things. All right. Also closes. All right. Let's go back. I compile it. SLP inverse doesn't exist, so that's not going to work. Inverse. So let's see, test SLP. All right, let's see if this worked. Let's make sure that this matches what I wrote first. So x1 is 4, x2 is 5, x3 is the composition of x1 and x2, and x4 is x3 inverted times 2 times x2. So first, when we print x4, this was just a just a printing of it. But then we want to evaluate x4. So let's do that. Let's go through the boring old process of evaluating this manually. So x4 is x3 to the -1. So x3 -1 equals x1 -1, x2 -1. But we flip and reverse. Well, x1. Well, first let's evaluate x3. So eval x3 equals 1 times 2, and 1 is 4 and 2 is 5. So that's what that equals. So eval x3 -1 is 5 to the minus 1 and 4 to the minus 1. Then we multiply that by 2, so eval x4 is equal to that first thing, 5, -1, 4, -1, times 2 times x2, which is 5. And indeed, we have -5, -4, 2, and 5. Joey is the winner, I guess. All right, we have this, and we did all this busy work, but where are the fruits of our labor? Why do any of this stuff if, what's the point? Well, let's try doing something where we make a super general solver for Rubik's cubes that is also, the catch is, super inefficient. Let's try it. So let me delete this. I'm going to keep our little test thing here. Let's go into our permutation group. Permutation group dot list. I kind of want to make the idea, I don't have any notion of a homomorphism yet. I kind of want to make the notion of a homomorphism so that I can convert free group elements to some target group. We'll see when I need them. How about that? So let's go into our permutation group. And maybe homomorphisms will be the topic of next week or something. So we have all this stuff, and where we really want to use this stuff is within our perm group generation algorithms. So the idea is that we maintain a sort of, how should we do this? Let me think. Let me back up. What I want to do is thread through all of this a straight line program that records how each element in this has been generated. So when I'm creating a group, and I was discussing this a little earlier, when I create a permutation group, I'm doing all this ping-ponging between these two functions, add generator and update transversal, and within those, I'm creating new elements entirely. I'm so on and so forth. I'm making new elements based off of previous elements. So, for example, here we have new perm, which is the composition of the inverse of the sigma value and whatever our permutation that we pass into the function. So what I want to do here is something like this. I'm not going to actually, this won't actually be the code, but I'm going to be doing something like this, where the SLP for this new perm, so new perm SLP, is something like compose SLP, invert SLP, whatever our representation of sigma is, and then we compose that along with whatever our representation of perm is. So that's what I'd like to do. But I need to make sure that we record, so the tricky part is this representation stuff right here. How we actually record these somewhere, because our straight line program stuff is all about symbols. That's all about assigning a symbolic name, like x3, to its actual straight line program representation. Obviously, we have no symbols in any of this stuff, but maybe we can use the same symbol that we use in math. Namely, the main thing that we're going to be accessing is, where is it? Sigma right here. These